afternoon and welcome to the MIAA Division I Boys Volleyball Semifinal match between Milford High School and Needham High School. Participating student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. Please ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon an MIAA school or security official. Our great nation has persevered through the leadership and sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to please stand. We thank you for your service to our country. Now let's meet the lineups. First, for Milford, number 1, Jimmy Ayala. Number 2, Owen Callahan. Number 3, J.J. Douglas. Number 4, John Seguin. Number 5, Colin Greco. Number 6, Arthur Gomes. Number 7, Gustavo Da Silva. Number 8, Mikey Morera. Number 9, Jason Koviski. Number 10, Marcelo Gomes. Number 11, Alex Dora. Number 12, Ryan Franklin. Number 13, Joey Newman. Number 15, Sam Abreu. Number 16, Christian Aquino. Number 18, Alex Fair. Number 18, Victor Martinez. And number 19, Danny Da Silva. The head coach for Milford is Andrew Lynn. Now for Needham High School. Number 1, Ben Vu. Sam Pelkovich. Number 4, Luke Lawrence. Number 5, Thomas Klein. Number 6, Owen Chin. Number 7, Will McDonald. Number 9, Avery Kalish. Number 10, Dylan Carroll. Number 11, Brian Cooney. Number 13, Ben Marino. Number 14, Andrew Purcell. Number 15, Nico Piazzoli. Number 16, Landon Liu. Number 22, Devin Delamargio. Number 23, Sean Reyes. Number 25, Nathaniel Ross. Number 30, Jeremy Smith. Number 33, Matthew Cooney. And number 34, Tyler Goldberg. The head coach for Needham High School is Mr. Dave Powell. At this time, we invite all to stand for the national anthem.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome in here on the campus of Newton South High School, the home of the Division I Final Four games for boys volleyball here in 2024. And for the early game on the docket here tonight, it features two of the top teams in the state, the number 4 seeded Milford Scarlet Hawks taking on the number 1 seed in the bracket, and the 3-time reigning Division I state champion Needham Rockets. And this is coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. We are also coming to you this evening on the NFHS Network as we once again collaborate at the state level to bring you coverage of high school athletics here in the 2024 MIAA Tournament. I am Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet, happy to be with you tonight, and a heads up to all of our live viewers tuned into this coverage tonight, whether you're joining us on the NFHS Network, whether you're streaming the coverage on our Milford TV YouTube channel, or you're joining us locally in Milford on our educational channel. A heads up, our connectivity here at Newton South High School is very shaky. It is very difficult to get a signal out of this field house, and so we're unsure of how long the live coverage will last here. We've had a lot of trouble getting a signal established here before the game. Happy to be live right now, but I will warn all of our live viewers, I'm not sure if the live feed will last. So we will do our very best to keep it up and running for you, but connectivity very, very shaky here in Newton as we get going with the first of 2 Final Four games, the only one that will bring you live here on our Milford TV platforms here tonight. As again, the Milford Scarlet Hawks, the number 4 seed in the bracket, battling their way through their first year at the D1 level, and right back here now where they have been for each of the last 3 years, and that is in the Final Four. It's been in Division II for the last couple of years, but now moving up to Division I, and the same result here in the postseason, and ready to get this game started. Milford in their white uniforms, and the first serve of the night is away. Needham keeping this ball in along the far sideline, the return back across. Pushed over the middle and dropped down. The first point of the game goes to the Rockets. Trying to settle into our surroundings here at Newton South High School. We've been here for a bit trying to get set up, but again, it's been a little bit difficult to get everything the way we need to bring you the coverage here today, but hoping again that our coverage will remain steady as Needham blasts the serve across. And again, we'll continue to try to get settled in here, as right now our sight line to the court is completely obscured as the Needham bench is curled around completely in front of our table set up here at the corner of the gym. So we will do our best to try to identify personnel for you as we go along. Tied up here at 1 as we get underway. A nice feed from the near corner for Needham, and they're also ultimately able to drop it down for a point. The Needham Rockets, state champions in 2023, in 2022, and in 2021. They have been the standard bearer for high school volleyball in the state for the last several seasons. Milford's return is immediately met. Now this deflects over along the near sideline, pushed back across. Hard blast from the front. Milford able to take some heat off of it. Now Newman trying to set up for the spike, but the infraction up front for Newman gives Needham another point, and the Rockets able to take an early 3-1 lead. Serve now to number 22. That is Devin Delamarigo. Milford tries that far side, and it's deflected off towards the crowd. De Silva doing all he could to try to track that ball down. I beg your pardon, Alex Guerra trying to track that ball down right in front of the jungle. The Milford student section traveling, all standing on the bleachers on the opposite side of our camera setup. Pushed to the near side. The front row able to get the slight deflection there for Milford. Now a little finger roll to deliver it over the net for Guerra. Needham trying for the spike. Now along the far sideline, it's picked up by the Rockets, and the blast across is deflected out. The kill for number 11, Brian Clunan. DeLamargio with the serve. And Newman puts it across with authority. And that's able to break up the Needham momentum for the moment. A 5-2 start here with the Rockets in front. Serve from the Scarlet Hawks is met on the back row. A lot of traffic leaping at the net. Milford able to get a good solid return across and a couple of points. Back in Milford's favor. Still close here in the early going. We'll try to dig into some of the history of what has gone on with these two teams in recent seasons, as they have started to build a bit of a rivalry as that ball is smashed down to the floor. I believe that was Will McDonald, but again, our sight line is not what we would like it to be here. We're all the way down in the corner behind the Needham bench. Milford fans trying to make their voices heard here for the first time. A relatively light crowd for this game. The Milford fans on the far side of the bleachers, the Needham fans on the near side. Mikey Guerra with the serve for the Hawks. A lot of hairstyle changes for Milford since the last time that we had a chance to cover this team back in the round of 16. I beg your pardon, in the round of 32, in a victory that got this playoff run started for Milford. A lot of colorful locks over on the other side of the floor. A 7-4 lead for the Rockets as this ball is looped back across. Milford able to keep it alive. Gomes will set it. And from the near side, it is Needham who was able to claim the point. They're going to take a 4-point lead. And so that will send us into our first time out of the match. It'll give us a chance perhaps to get our bearings here a little bit. So as we bring you this coverage of this D1 Final Four matchup between Milford and Needham, Needham comes in once again as the champions of their division, able to take care of business during the regular season in the Bay State League. Finishing right now, they come into the matchup overall with a 24-2 record, just 2 losses on the season. They both came to one of their division rivals, the team that finished in second place in the Bay State League, and a team that is going to be playing here on this floor a little bit later tonight in the other Final Four matchup, and that is Newton North. Milford, meanwhile, comes into the matchup at 16-5. Had a couple of bumps in the later part of the regular season, but were able to get things back on track, and they've had a fantastic run through the playoffs to this point, defeating the team that calls this gym home, Newton South, to open up their playoffs. That was a 3-set sweep. They earned a 3-1 victory against Lincoln Sudbury in the round of 16, and then took care of business against Methuen in the round of 8 to earn this spot in the postseason. We'll get to Needham's run through the playoffs as we go along, but it will be Needham's Owen Ching who delivers the serve out of the timeout, with Needham leading 8-4, and that serve goes beyond the back line. And again, the fan base is trying to inject themselves to bring some life. A very large facility here at Newton South High School. So a 9-5 lead now for Needham. Serve now for number 15, that is Landon Liu. Pushing it across, Gomes able to get a piece and deliver it right back over on the Needham side. Another diving play for Arthur, and now sent to the back row, and it drops down for one of the best looking Milford points of the night. Gustavo Da Silva able to finish that off with the kill. Lead for Needham is 3 as Milford gets the side out. Silva now on serve, and that ball unreturnable as it kicked off the hands on the Needham side. And so Milford trying to settle in. Serve from Da Silva. And now pushed across for the chance for Alex Guerra, but that was sent too long. Needham back on serve with the 10-7 lead. Luke Lawrence, senior, will serve now for the Rockets. Once again, will set it, looking for Guerra on the outside. Nice job by Milford to keep that alive. Now again, it's Guerra, this time a little more softly. And the infraction on the Needham side will give the Scarlet Hawks the points. Both of these teams have had very little resistance en route to this Final Four matchup. Both teams have dropped just a single set in each of their previous rounds of the postseason. Long deflection on the Needham side. They're able to track it down. And this ball is going to careen off towards the Needham student section and out of play. And so Milford battles back here. They close it to within 1. And this one driven down. And Needham will get the side out with authority. But relatively close here in the first set. And this is the second time that these two schools have squared off against one another this season. We'll dip into how that regular season matchup went at our next stoppage of play. In the meantime, the serve comes from number 25, Nathaniel Ross. And now the hard deflection off the hands of Liu and out of play. Back down to just a 1-point margin as we get some additional Needham students starting to file in, so perhaps we'll start to see this crowd swell a bit as we go along. Serve on the Milford side from Owen Callahan. That ball ping-ponging around, a good save from Guerra. And now again deflected on the front. And Milford is going to get called for the double hit. Again, to anyone tuning into our live coverage here, we've been able to maintain the signal. We sent out some messages on our social media as we were just about to wave the white flag on being able to get the coverage up and running, and we were able to get a signal right at the last second. So we apologize for the confusion as that ball stays in. It was deflected and ends with a point for the Scarlet Hawks to again pull things to within one. So we stay very close here in set number one. Serve from Guerra. And push to the front and unreturnable off the hands of Jeremy Smith. Smith, a junior on this Needham roster. They do have quite a number of seniors, but a handful of juniors and a pretty decent sophomore contingent too. And as you would imagine with a program that is 3 times running as the state champion, I'm sure they have a tremendous ability of restocking this roster each and every season, as Milford will run out of touches. And so a little mini run here. That gets Needham back on track, 14-11. They've stayed in front throughout this first set so far. Brian Clunan awaiting the serve. Sends it away, it's met by Guerra. Now it's De Silva, just barely skimming over the net. And the point awarded to the Scarlet Hawks. Looked like a double touch perhaps on the Rockets side. Again, it's Morera out to serve, and Needham attacking the freshman. He could not keep that ball in play, and so a 15-12 lead now for the Rockets. They won their most recent state title, defeating their division rival Newton North in a 3-set sweep in the D1 state title game a season ago, as that ball is spiked down by Luke Lawrence, another of the seniors on this roster. And again, the Needham lead is up to 4. A bit of a mind trick as we're here at Newton South High School covering the Needham Rockets against the Milford Scarlet Hawks. Neutral site territory for this Division I Final Four. And another quick play up at the net, this time by Andrew Kurtziel. And Milford is going to call another timeout as Needham has pulled themselves in front now 17-12. A couple of times Milford has narrowed it to a 1-point game. But Needham right now with a good response, forcing Milford into their second timeout of this opening set. So again, we want to send out a couple of thank yous while we certainly are able to stay on our live signal here. We want to thank all of the folks at the MIAA as well as the NFHS Network for collaborating with us once again to be able to bring you this coverage here in neutral site territory for the Final Four. It's the second season in a row that we've been able to bring Final Four coverage to you on our Milford TV platforms. We're also able to bring you Final Four coverage of the Division III football this past fall, with Milford playing Walpole, also in cooperation with the NFHS Network. So we want to thank everybody there, including Jim Clark on the MIAA side and Don Boyle of the NFHS Network for working with us to get this set up in pretty short order after this matchup and date were decided. We also want to thank the staff here at Newton South High School for having us. And back to action now out of the timeout, with Newton leading now 17-12. And lofted to the back row by Joey Newman. Now Callahan will push, and that ball immediately rejected. Callahan will loop it across himself this time. Gomes will set it. Newman again blocked. Sturdy play up at the net. Some big bodies up there on the Needham side, including Will McDonald and Andrew Kurtziel. Ching serving again for the Rockets. Wearing the libero jersey, Arthur Gomes. Wearing the libero jersey on the Milford side. Quick hands for Ryan Franklin to get that ball back across for Milford, but that ball smashed. Another kill for the Rockets, who all of a sudden find themselves 6 points away from claiming this opening set. Ching's been good serving here in the first set. Delivered across by Gustavo da Silva. Return from Luke Lawrence. And that's going to get Needham up to an even 20. We've made this many deep postseason runs, played for so many state championships. It just starts to feel a little bit more methodical, like you expect to be here at this level, and no doubt this Needham program expects to be at this level each and every season. That's exactly what they've done ever since 2020, really, back when we were still in the sectional format. Needham was knocking on the door of state championships, and ever since we switched to this state bracket format, they have claimed the state title each season. And now just 4 points away. Landon Liu will serve. Good play up front on the Milford side for Franklin. Now teaming up for the block, but that one snuck through. And just 3 points away now for the Rockets, looking to have this opening set in hand. Met by Da Silva. Callahan will send it right back. Good play on the back row by Ben Vu for the Rockets. And now slammed down. Another kill for Luke Lawrence on the outside. Keeps this Needham fan base fully enthused. An even 10-point lead now for the Rockets. And looking like an inevitability that the Rockets will take this opening set. Set up for Da Silva, goes cross court. Milford will escape with the point. They get a desperately needed side out, and they will turn to Gustavo Da Silva behind the service line, trailing by 9, and without much margin for error left in the set, and unfortunately they get a service error, and all kinds of set points now presenting themselves for the Rockets. Lawrence now steps behind the service line, looking to wrap things up here in what would be a pretty quick opening set. Straight line serve is met by Gomes. It's tracked down on the back by Jimmy Ayala, and Milford is able to get it back across. They'll set it up once again on the near side, and it's blasted down for the decisive kill in the set. So the defending state champs make a resounding statement here in set number 1 as they take it by a margin of 25-14. So Milford with some work to do and some adjustments to make here in between sets as they drop just their second set of these 2024 MIAA playoffs. We'll see what's in store for set number 2. We'll take a very quick pause here on the broadcast, and we'll have more coming up for you in just a moment as we bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics in the 2024 MIAA playoff tournament on Milford TV and on the NFHS Network. And all of our Milford TV sports coverage is proudly presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Welcome back to this coverage of the 2024 Division I Final Four for boys volleyball. Number 1 seed Needham taking on the number 4 seed Milford. The Rockets just moments ago claiming the opening set by a margin of 25-14. So Milford will look to see what kind of adjustments they can make here as we get deeper into this match. The last 2 times that these teams have squared off, Needham has come away with a victory. However, it's been a very close margin in each of those games. Both have gone the distance. Fans now settle in for this second set action. First serve away. The ball ends up out of play as once again Needham is able to start off on top. Needham led just about wire to wire in that opening set. Flipping sides of the floor now for the second. Serve now for Luke Lawrence, who was a force in set number 1. Both teams getting their audio video equipment set properly for their game film before we continue. Lawrence now with a serve away. It's set up on the near side. And De Silva able to get the kill. Now it is Joey Newman who has really fine-tuned the hair for these playoffs. As that blast ends up just behind the back line. A little bit tricky here to determine the boundary lines, as the volleyball markings are in white here on the Newton South floor, and there's 2 sets of horizontal lines on the back. It is the inner lines that denote the boundary on the back for the varsity volleyball court. Not sure how easy those are to see for our spectators watching the coverage at home. A 2-2 tie now here in the second set. Big reaction from the Needham bench on that slam, as the Rockets will take a 3-2 lead here. Serve for Andrew Kurtziel. Net by Gomes. They'll set it up again for De Silva. Now playable on the outside. Callahan trying to deliver a block there, but that ball snuck down on the Milford side of the net. Push to the far side. Diving play for Gomes, diving play for Callahan, and De Silva's able to get it back over. And ultimately finished off with a hot shot on the Needham side. Not sure if that was Jeremy Smith who delivered the final blow there on that rally. Milford with max effort during that play, but unfortunately it is Needham that takes the point. MIAA now has to track that ball down. Guerra will deliver it all the way back across. One-handed play, and Milford's going to run out of touches. And some anxious faces now amongst these Milford players on the sideline as Coach Mainini has no choice but to call another timeout. Certainly an appropriate moment for us to look back officially at how those matchups went the last couple of years. Again, the last 2 years in a row, Milford and Needham have met in the regular season. They met earlier this year on April 24th. At the time, Milford was undefeated on the season, and it looked like they might stay that way. In a very closely played first set, Milford was able to win it by a score of 27-25. They then took set number 2, 25-22, and it looked like Milford was in prime position for an upset victory against the defending state champions, but then Needham rising to that championship level as that match went on. They won the third set 25-17. In a very close fourth set, Needham was able to edge out Milford 25-23, and then in the fifth set, Needham was really able to take over, winning a very lopsided deciding set 15-4 to earn the 3-2 victory. It was a somewhat similar theme to the matchup the season before. It also went 5 sets. Milford was able to win the first set in that match as well, but ultimately it went 5. This time the fifth set was a real nail-biter as Needham was able to win it by a final margin of 16-4. And so Needham 2-0 in the recent history of head-to-head matchups between these two schools. But again, it's been very close, both sets going the distance, very competitive. A lot of twists and turns of momentum as there Gustavo da Silva commits another service error. And for Milford, they cannot afford mistakes like that. They know that it's going to be rare to see a mistake on the other side of the floor. So you certainly can't give free points to a team that has 3 state championship trophies in their case. This ball bouncing up for grabs. And Da Silva is able to two-hand it back across. Good block in front for Ryan Franklin. Long way to go for Ayala. He goes slamming into the stands as this ball is delivered back over by Owen Callahan right in front of the Milford crowd. Callahan now will set this up for Alex Guerra. Milford lobbying for the deflection call, but it does not come. And so one of our longest rallies of the match so far ends with another point for Needham. Milford, no doubt, they're going to start wondering what they have to do to start to claim points against this team, to keep that confidence up. Another awkward deflection as Milford tried to dig out that serve, and they end up getting called for the double hit. And it's up to a 6-point lead now in the second set for Needham. Serve now by Delamargio. And this time the ball deflects on the Needham side out of play to give Milford a much needed point. And now here is Arthur Gomes. He will take over on serve. One of the long-time veterans on this roster. We talked about it a bit in the playoff game we covered earlier this season. 4-year varsity player. I'm sure the same can be said for many of the faces over on the Needham side, as the Rockets will take this point. Crossing into double figures now here in the second set. A 6-point lead at 10-4. And the serve now from Brian Clunan. Spiked down. But Needham keeps it alive. Milford trying to dot that far sideline, but the ball goes out of play. Victor Martinez with a good play earlier in that rally for Milford. down the line. Milford's able to keep that ball in play. Side out for the Hawks. Owen Callahan now will serve. And that one deflects out of play. Unreturned on the serve for Callahan. Milford hasn't been able to go on an extended run yet tonight. Could this be the start? Pushed back to the net front, slammed back across. Now Guerra's return is met immediately. Newman this time will pop it up in the air. Now Callahan gets it to the outside. And Martinez takes something off of that on the front row. Here comes Newman. He loads up and drops it down for the kill. That's more like it from Joey Newman. Newman right now all business out on the court. Usually we see Joey playing to the crowd. Very demonstrative, but for a game of this magnitude right now, looking a little more serious than we're used to seeing him. Needham, meanwhile, able to get the side out. The lead for the defending champs is 5. They lead in the match 1-0. Quick side out, brings it back on the Scarlet Hawk side, as now another 4-year veteran player in Alex Guerra will deliver the serve. And Milford able to block the return from McDonald. They narrow the gap to 3. And that ball sneaks through. Martinez a little early timing the jump. Needham able to sneak that through for the kill. Landon Liu now setting up for the serve. Can't get it across. And so it was around this point in the first set that things really started to turn for Needham. The early points were relatively close. Guerra had to go down to his knees to angle that ball back towards the net, but Milford couldn't get it back across. (14-10) now is the Needham lead. Lawrence now serving for the Rockets. Some difficulties on serve for Needham, helping to keep things close. So now here is Joey Newman. Moves it over towards the far sideline. And this time it was Franklin and De Silva teaming up for the block. Just barely skimming over the net. Now Guerra to the front, nifty play by Owen Callahan, but Needham is able to recover. And now this one pushed over to De Silva, but they ruled a double hit to stop the rally in its tracks. Milford bench hates the call. Push it back up to a 15-12 lead. Serve now for Birdseel. Set up for Franklin, and he delivers it. Gets the hard deflection out of play. Franklin with the spike. Again brings it down to a 2-point margin. Silva with the serve. Popped towards the back. Ching is able to make it playable, and ultimately Needham gets it back across. And somehow that ball snuck over, and now the point ends with a held ball call against Needham. They were setting Franklin up for another spike. Got a little ugly up at the net front, but Milford able to get it across, and then the violation on the Needham side, and for the first time, it is Needham who calls the timeout. As Milford narrows this to a 1-point difference here in the second set, looking to draw this Final Four matchup level. This is the first of 2 Final Four games that will be played here on the Newton South hardwood today, a little bit later on this evening. It will be Newton South taking on Natick. That game right now tentatively scheduled around 7:15, but of course that certainly depends on how long it takes for these two teams to finish up. It's been a more competitive second set here so far. And of course we should point out that that is the top 4 seeds in this Division I bracket, so it was straight chalk here in the Final Four. The top seed Needham, and the 4 seed Milford, and the 2 seed Newton North against the 3 seed Natick. 2 teams that each have big time rivalries with the teams in this matchup. How many times have we seen games get a little chippy between Milford and Natick over the years, although the Redhawks have really had the better of the rivalry in recent seasons. And Newton North has played this Needham team very tough, including earning 2 victories against them in the regular season this year. So a lot of compelling storylines for however things shake out for the D1 state title game, but still more work to do before we get there, as Milford outlasts to claim that point. They pull it back to within 1. Gomes now will serve. Getting some love from the bench as he delivers the serve. It's met by Owen Ching. Milford sends it over, but out. And the Rockets able to get the side out. As the student section continues to grow on the Needham side, they stand all clad in Hawaiian shirts. The Milford student section, who has been on their feet since the beginning, dressed all in black. As Needham makes it back-to-back points to give themselves a 3-point cushion. Clunan serving. It's a kick off the top of the tape on the net as Guerra unloads a return that was well wide to the far sideline. Again, Guerra looking to unload, but it is blocked and dropped right back down on the Milford side of the floor to put Needham in front now 20-5, so starting to gain separation, now 5 points away from taking a commanding lead in this match. And that forces Milford into another timeout. So as we look at how the playoff run has gone for the Lions up until this point. Again, only 2 losses in the regular season. They lost at Newton North back on April 11th in a 5-setter. Their second loss to Newton North came on May 14th on their home floor. That was a 3-1 defeat. Other than that, nothing but victories. A lot of them sweeps along the way for the defending state champs and getting into the postseason. They made quick work of the number 32 seed Weymouth in the round of 32 in a 3-set sweep. They then earned a sweep victory against number 17 seed Andover in the round of 16 before taking down the number 8 seed Brookline in a game that did stretch to 4 sets. But Needham ultimately taking care of business. That was 3 days ago to earn their spot in this familiar territory for the Rockets, the Division I Final Four. Milford getting used to playing in the Final Four as well. The last 2 years, it has been the Division II Final Four. And now here at the D1 level, Milford losing those previous 2 Final Four matchups. Hoping the 3rd time is the charm, but they're going to need to come from behind, including here in the 2nd set as well, where they now trail 21-15. Still on the Clunan serve. As again, Milford cannot beat that sturdy front row for Needham. Will McDonald in on that block. It's been a 7-1 run now for the Rockets. As this time, Guerra was able to beat the block up front. And ultimately, Milford will take the point. A lot of work to do, and not a lot of time to do it. Back to Callahan on serve. And delivered down out of the reach of Gomes. The kill for Luke Lawrence. Just 2 points to go here in the 2nd set for the Rockets. Owen Ching serving. And Milford getting confused up front. A bad time for it as Callahan with a short setup, nobody home. And set points once again here for the Rockets. No timeout here for Coach Mainini. And now a deflection off the hands of Guerra. And in the end, a similar looking set to what we had in the first. It was 25-14 in the first set, 25-16 here in the second. And so Needham has taken full control of this Final Four game. Milford will have to fight to keep their season alive as we move on to the 3rd set. That will come your way in just a moment. Stay tuned here to the coverage of the 2024 MIAA Final Four. It's brought to you here on Milford TV and the NFHS Network, and all of our Milford TV sports coverage is proudly presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. for the Needham Rockets. Another appearance in the Division I state championship game is now just 1 set away, as they lead this game now 2-0 for the Scarlet Hawks. If they hope to avoid seeing their season end in the Final Four for the 3rd consecutive year, they will need to come up with a gutty come-from-behind performance. You can see right now Coach Andrew Mainini continuing to have some words with his team before they retake the floor. Needham is already back out on the floor waiting to get this 3rd set started. As again, we come to you live from the campus of Newton South High School, the home of this year's Division I Final Four games for boys volleyball. I am Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet, bringing you the coverage here on all of our typical Milford TV platforms, and also in cooperation with the NFHS Network, bringing you our coverage on the NFHS Network platforms as well. In each of the first 2 sets, Needham has been able to gain separation at the crucial points of the match. So right now, a very different looking match than what we've seen when these teams have played in the last 2 seasons. Although for Milford right now, hoping that perhaps they can see an inverse of what happened when these 2 teams met earlier in this past regular season, where Milford was able to win the first 2 sets only to go on to lose the match in 5. Hoping to give Needham a taste of their own medicine, but the Rockets able to take the first 2 points here in the 3rd set. Andrew Kurtziel on serve. And driven down the line, but that is out. And a 3rd consecutive point now for the Rockets. As it looks like the Natick Redhawks starting to make their way into the gym. Milford hoping that they can keep the Redhawks, as well as Newton North, waiting a little bit longer. Nice play on the back row by Arthur Gomes. Now Squero with the return. And a held ball for Needham as that one spun across the net front and out of play. First point for Milford here in set number 3. Guerra serving now for the Hawks, and that serve cannot be returned. The Needham student section has migrated with each time that Needham has flipped sides of the floor. Now behind their bench. Over here on the far side of the floor, as that ball deflects off of a Needham hand and out of play. And so Milford with a quick 3 points in response to tie up this 3rd set. I don't believe that Milford has had a lead at any point in this match. Briefly tying it right there. They were able to pull it within 1 on a couple of occasions in each of the first 2 sets, but I do not believe Milford has held a lead at any point, as Newman tries to wrap that ball around the antenna, not able to do it. So back on top by 2 go the Rockets. And now the deflection, and driven down on the Needham side. I believe that was Delamargio getting involved in that play. He'll now step behind the service line. Pushed across to De Silva, nicely dug out by Ching. And now to the back, that stays in for the Needham kill. Excellent execution all the way around for the Rockets. And so 4 unanswered points. Callahan now will push across, looking for De Silva. He gets the deflection. And no, it is point for the Rockets. Unable to keep that ball in play. So now Callahan sets up backwards to Newman. Sent immediately back. And now again the held ball is called against Needham. Milford trailing by 4. Gomes serving now for Milford. A block for Milford on the attempted return for McDonald. Keeps it alive. De Silva to the back, and that is long. Again, tricky to judge at times with the 2 sets of white lines on the back of the court, but it is that inner line that notes the edge of the playing surface. Right now, there's just nothing that Milford can seem to do to slow down the Rockets' momentum. And Coach Mainini forced to call another timeout. Last season, Milford advanced to the Final Four. They took on another team with a championship pedigree in the Westfield Bombers. Milford did force that match to 4 sets, but ultimately fell. Westfield would go on to lose in the state championship game to Agawam. And so again, they've continued to knock on the door. I believe 2 years ago it was the Natick Redhawks who ended Milford's season in the playoffs. So they've been on the cusp. This nucleus of players that's been part of this roster for the last 3 to 4 seasons have been a big part of putting this program in a position to play deep in the postseason, but they have not yet gotten to that state championship game. There was so much confidence coming into this season that this was the year that Milford would break through. Despite the move up to Division I, a lot of confidence from everyone surrounding this program that they had what it took to get to the state championship game, but things looking dire here for the Scarlet Hawks, needing a change of momentum in a hurry. Unbelievable play there for De Silva to go around the net to keep that ball alive. Milford gets the return. Now set up on the outside. Quick feet there for Gomes. Now De Silva goes cross court. And a whistle, and what was one of the longest rallies so far in the game. I believe the call was that Needham made contact with the net, so Milford will take the point. And mark that one down in the memory banks. Could that be a turn of momentum here for the Scarlet Hawks? Unreal play for De Silva, going parallel to the net to send that ball back for Milford to get the return. Nicely dug out by the Needham libero. Now another chance for De Silva. Another superb dig for Ching. Now quick hands for Ben Vu to keep that ball alive. And finally, it is Ryan Franklin set up for the spike. He finishes it off. A tenacious rally back and forth on both sides of the floor. Franklin gets the kill. Still a 4-point lead for Needham. Milford having to fight and scratch and claw for every single point. As there they end up with the service error to give the Rockets the side out. The Newton North players and the Natick players looking on. As Chink's serve just does get over the net. Impenetrable over on the far side with Will McDonald leading the way for the block. And the lead in this third set now grows to 6. Another serve that just does spin across the net. And that stays in, the kill for Luke Lawrence. This time the serve goes too long as the Needham fans start to express their confidence in the outcome of this match. Fans trying to get into it back and forth now, as again, De Silva cannot get the serve over the net, and it's been a problem for Milford in this match. We've seen some great serving from the Hawks throughout this playoff run, but some key service errors here tonight to really eliminate the chance of building any momentum. And right now it is a 7-point lead in the third set for the Rockets. A rare service error now on the Needham side, committed by Landon Lau. Freshman Mikey Morera comes out on serve. Hawks trailing by 6, and another serve that is out. And the Rockets are now 10 points away from a state championship appearance in 2024. Serve now for Luke Lawrence. Set up for Martinez. A long deflection. Milford goes barreling through the bench area to try to keep that ball alive. Again, the effort level has been there for Milford all night. You cannot question it. We've seen bodies flying all over the floor, but so far they have just not been able to get any level of traction into this match. It has been all Needham right from the start. And this time Milford gets the deflection call. And so now here is Owen Callahan, another one of the many seniors on this roster, hoping that this is not their final game of their high school career. A cross-court shot, that is out. And a couple of points back now for Milford. And it's spiked down at the net front for Milford. That gets the Scarlet Hawks fans up and cheering. So a little something going here on the Callahan serve. Needham lead is still 5. And that ball stays in on the back. A good effort there on serve for Callahan, but Needham gets the side out, leading 17-11. Brazil back on serve. Down the line, that is out. We've seen Gustavo da Silva execute those down-the-line returns many times this season. Not quite the same level of accuracy right there. Newman trying to send that one across the middle, but it's met by the Rockets. And Needham beats the block. And a state championship berth now a mere 6 points away for the Rockets. No timeout here for Coach Mainini. Finish line in sight now at 20-11. The head coach for the Needham Rockets is Dave Powell, putting together another championship caliber roster. An outstanding coaching staff here for Needham that has been proven over the years, and we could go back further in postseason history beyond their 3 consecutive state championships, factors deep into the playoffs in the years prior to that as well. So this has just been an absolute model program that Needham has been, and for Milford, all of those years in Division II looking to topple the likes of Westfield and Agawam. Moving up to Division I. And it's been a whole new cast of characters that they've had to get by. They took their lumps in that losing stretch in the regular season, which included a loss to this Needham team, but they were ultimately able to rebound, winning 7 straight games to close out the regular season, along with their victories so far in the playoffs. But they trail by 9 here in the 3rd set, and Needham is 5 points away from a return trip to the finals. And the cross-court shot from Guerra is out of play. Alex Guerra has not looked to be himself in this match today. Not featured in the offense nearly the way that we typically see him, and when he has gotten an opportunity to return, a lot of those returns have been long. Chance again here for Guerra. That's more like it. Drop down for the kill. Guerra now will serve, with his team in desperate need of a run. Over the middle. Nice play by Arthur Gomes. Milford gets it back across. Now from the near side. Looped right to the net. Long way for Milford to go. They run out of room by the benches. The lead back up to 10, and a mere 3 points left to get for the Rockets. Serve now for Delvin Delamargio. Over the middle, it's Guerra. Met by Delamargio. And to the back, that ball is long. So Milford will get the serve back, trailing 22-13. And so here is Arthur Gomes. And players getting tangled up there for Needham. Very rare bit of miscommunication. And another service error for the Scarlet Hawks. As Needham gets the side out, 2 points away from a victory in the Final Four. Brian Clunan will serve now for Needham. punched back across on a scramble for Ryan Franklin. Now the hard deflection, that will travel off into the crowd. And match points coming up here for the three-time defending state champs. Calling for their entire fan section to rise to their feet. A 10-point lead for the Rockets. Their first match point is on the way, served by Clunan. And driven to the back, and that is long. And the celebration on now for Needham High School. We thought this one would be a bit more competitive here tonight, given what we had seen the previous two times that these schools have met up. Both games went the full 5 sets, but not here tonight. This was Needham's day from start to finish. Milford never had a lead in this match. They ultimately fall here in this third set, 25-14. A clean sweep here for Needham, as the two teams come together at the net to congratulate one another. And certainly big congratulations go to this Needham program. Again, just so tough. We should have a trophy presentation, I believe, coming up here, as Milford right now heads back to their sideline. Disappointment on the faces of these Milford players, as you can certainly understand. A fantastic season for Milford, 16 wins, but unfortunately their season comes up short in the Final Four yet again. Milford looking a bit shell-shocked, as again, we thought the Scarlet Hawks would have a run in them at some point as things went along, but it just never materialized. And it looks like we won't have any type of award presentation post-game, as we already will start to see Natick and Newton North come out onto the floor to start to prepare for their Final Four game. And so that will wrap things up here for our coverage here tonight, as Natick earns a very quick 3-set sweep victory over Milford. So Needham will play for a four-peat, a fourth consecutive Division I state championship. Will they face off against Newton North or Natick, two of their division rivals? Those two teams will take the floor here shortly, but that's going to wrap up our coverage. And one more time, we want to give a huge congratulations to this Milford Scarlet Hawks boys volleyball team. An unfortunate loss here today. They will lose a lot of seniors to graduation this year, players that have really helped build this program into a consistent winner. We'll see what the future holds, as these players, I'm sure, hope to see their legacy move on with another competitive season of boys volleyball next season. It will certainly be a very different looking Milford team that takes the floor when the 2025 spring sports season starts. But for all of these seniors, congratulations on a terrific year, a terrific varsity career, and we wish you the very best of luck moving forward. But that's going to wrap things up for boys volleyball in this 2024 spring sports season, and it will also wrap things up for our coverage here tonight. I want to give a big thank you to Patrick Garapi, who was manning the cameras for our coverage here tonight. And once again, I want to thank the entire staff here at Newton South for having us here, allowing us to bring you the coverage here today, as well as, again, Jim Clark from the MIAA, Don Boyle from the NFHS Network for helping to coordinate, allowing us to be here with the live coverage on our Milford TV platforms as well as on the NFHS Network. It was a little shaky to get things started, but somehow we were able to keep the coverage live for you here from start to finish. So happy we were able to bring you this coverage live. And so again, that final score, one final time, Needham with the 3-set sweep, and Needham moves on to yet another Division I state championship game. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. So long, everybody,